Silver broke $64, and gold has lost over $1,400 an ounce in 4 months. And the question every customer asking my desk this week, when does this stop, has an actual answer, a number. I'm going to give it to you. But first, you need to see the strangest fact in this entire market. Overnight, and as you've seen over the past days, the United States and Iran traded fire in the Persian Gulf. A war seems to be escalating.
We've got the president's post. He says, "I've just been informed by our great military that last night the Iranians shot down one of our highly sophisticated Apache helicopters while patrolling over the Strait of Hormuz. There were 2 pilots involved. Both are safe and uninjured. Nevertheless, the United States must, of necessity, respond to this attack."
Iran and the U.S. are back at it this morning, trading more strikes despite the ceasefire. New video released by Iran's Revolutionary Guard shows what it says are missiles launched at U.S. targets in Jordan, Bahrain, and Kuwait.
The Strait of Hormuz and 20% of the world's oil is running at less than 10% of normal traffic. And silver is crashing anyway. War up, metals down. That's not supposed to happen. If it makes no sense to you, stay with me, because once you understand why it's happening, you'll know exactly when it ends. I'm Eric with Summit Metals. We do the work institutions do for themselves in a way people like you and me can actually use. And at this time, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I want to send a shout out to our crew, the people who make these videos happen. Please give them some love in the comments. It's a lot of hard work to produce these, and I'm really grateful for what they do on behalf of both you and me. Now, every level, every date, every move in this video is on a free PDF in the description. It's the first link. Download it, and let's check it for later. And stay to the end, because I'm going to put exact numbers on where gold and silver trade by April of 2027. To know when this stops, you have to be honest about what's actually driving it. Not one thing. It's a machine with 2 parts, and neither one of them is the war. Let's start with part 1, the leverage flush. On January 28th, gold printed an all-time high of $55.89 an ounce. Silver was near $121, up from $71 at the start of the year. A 71% move in 5 weeks. 2 days later, the CME, the exchange that runs the silver's futures market, started raising margin requirements at the top of this parabolic move. Every leverage long became a forced seller at the exact same moment. Silver fell roughly 30% in a single day, and the cascade has never fully finished. That's what we're still watching 4 months later. The market is still wringing leverage out of a move that went too far and too fast. I watched it start from a dealer's desk in real time, and I can tell you, cascades like this end on exhaustion, not typically on good news. And now part 2, the rate shock. Friday's blowout jobs report convinced more than 70% of traders that the Fed raises rates by December. Think about what that means. A rate hike is now the consensus bet. The dollar caught a bid, yields jumped, and everything priced in dollars got marked down, including the war hedges. And that's the answer to the paradox. The war premium is real, but right now it lives in oil, not in metals. Brent is near $90, while silver makes 2-month lows. When traders are forced to delever and the dollar is rising, they sell what they own, even the things the war should be lifting. War up, metals down isn't a verdict on silver. Then yesterday morning at 8:30 Eastern, the May inflation report landed. Headline inflation, 4.2%, the hottest reading since April of 2023, with energy up 3.9 in a single month, driving over 60% of the increase. That's the war arriving in your cost of living. But core inflation came in at 0.2% for the month, softer than forecast. The market braced for a double shock, hot jobs and hot core, and it got half of one. The rate hike case just lost its best argument. And the war premium is still sitting in every barrel of oil waiting to pass through. So when does this stop? Here's my honest answer. First, where are we actually? We are at a multi-month low in both metals while a war burns 9 time zones away. That is the full ugly picture. Now here's the structure. Silver is sitting almost dead center of what I call the decision box. 62 on the bottom, 68 on the top. Those two numbers are the answer to when does this stop. The top of the box, 68, that's the shelf silver broke down through this week. A daily close back above 68 means the breakdown failed. The sellers are exhausted and the bottom is very likely in. Above 68, the January crash floor at 74 is the next door, and beyond that, the recovery runs. The bottom of the box, $62. That is my line, and you can clip this and hold me to it. A weekly close below 62 means the cascade isn't done, and the next stop the institutional desk are already writing about is $58. If silver closes a week under 62, I'm wrong about this being the final flush, and this becomes a deeper leg, and I will stand in front of this camera and tell you so. No deleted videos, no quiet pivot. While we wait on the box, your early tell is gold at 4,000. The futures desk are openly eyeing it. If gold holds above 4,000 through this leverage flush, through a war repricing, a hawkish Fed, and a rising dollar, that is enormous underlying strength, and silver bottoms with it. If 4,000 goes, the box breaks with it. Now let me tell you what the chart can't. In many years between a Wall Street desk and a dealer's desk, I've learned the order flow tells you more than the candles. In January with silver at 115, every phone call at Summit was a buyer. No one wanted to sell. The last 2 weeks, our sell to us line has been the busiest it's been all year. Retail is capitulating, and the metal coming in the door is not sitting in our vault. It's being absorbed fast by larger and much quieter money. That handoff, weak hands shaking out, strong hands accumulating, is what real bottoms are made of. It never tells you the exact day, it tells you the direction. And central banks didn't stop buying gold at 4,200. They were buying at 5,200, and they're buying now. So when does it stop? Either silver closes back above 68, and it already has, or 62 breaks, and we do this once more at 58. You now know exactly what to watch. Here's what to do about it. 4 moves. Move number 1, write the box down tonight, 62 and 68 on paper, before Friday's close. What will you do at each number? What's your action if 68 reclaims or if 62 breaks on a weekly close? Then the sizing test. If silver traded 58, could you hold without panic selling? If the honest answer is no, your position is too big. Fix the size while the market is closed, not during the spike. Decisions made at 11 p.m. on paper beat decisions made mid-panic. And move 2, watch Friday's close, then watch the dots. Friday's weekly close against 62 is checkpoint 1. Checkpoint 2 is next Tuesday and Wednesday, June 16th and 17th. The Fed meets. The meeting publishes the dot plot, every official's written rate forecast. The whole crash thesis rests on that December hike the market is 70% right now sure about. If the dots confirm hikes, the dollar gets another leg and metals flight uphill into summer. If the dots hold steady with the core at 0.2% giving the Fed every excuse, the hike bet unwinds, and so does the pressure on everything you just watched get sold. Don't watch the decision, watch the dots. And move 3. If you're adding, ladder it, never lump. No one buys the exact bottom of a crash. Stop trying. Split whatever you intend to deploy into 3 tranches. Tranche 1, here inside the box, where the retail is capitulating into stronger hands. Tranche 2 on the daily close above 68. You'll pay a little more for a lot more confirmation. And tranche 3, after the Fed meeting, when the dots are public and the dust settles, get your physical, have it in your name, and move forward. And this one takes about 15 minutes. Audit how you hold silver. List every silver position you own, ETFs, futures, miners, on margin, unallocated bank programs, physical. For each one, ask 3 questions. Is it in my name? Is there leverage on it? Who stands between me and the metal? The margin machine can only reach the leverage column. Whatever survives all 3 questions is the part of your stack no exchange committee can liquidate at, say, 3 a.m. in the morning. All right, so back to the question. When does it stop? Notice what you have that they don't. A plan. By Friday's close, you'll know which side of the box we're on. Days before most people in this market even know there is a box. Here's where I actually stand, with numbers, so we can all be accountable to what we say. By April 2027, I still believe gold trades at $5,500 and silver at $120. Not in spite of this week, partly because of it. Everything that put gold at $5,500 in January is still there. The debt, the deficits, a strait carrying 20% of the world's oil shut through a trickle, central banks buying with both hands, and now a war whose bill has already reached your cost of living. A margin cascade, a rate hike bet knocked $1,400 off gold. They did not repeal a single one of those facts. The crash took out the leverage. It did not touch the thesis. If silver closes a week under 62, my call is wrong, and you'll hear it from me first on this channel. That's a promise. Everything I gave you, the $62 line, the 68 trigger, the April 2027 targets, is on that free 1-page brief in the description. Download it before Friday's close. It's the first one in the link. This is not investment, legal, or financial advice. Prices and levels are my professional opinion as of this recording, and they will move. Talk to a qualified professional before making any investment decisions. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Eric with Summit Metals, and happy stacking.